Alright, guys. I really miss Sniper Wolf, though. She didn't show up this year. What am I gonna do? Where am I gonna draw my inspirations? Well, it's even better now, because I can be the next Sniper Wolf, and I will react to even better TikToks. Holy shit, man. And I will not even, like, take half of your screen. I'm a very generous boy. But I don't think Jax Films is very generous. He's still showing up for some reason. He defeated Sniper Wolf successfully. Look at this champion that I don't like still. But, I mean, he did something, so that's cool. And Smosh completely reunited. There's Jax Films, Anthony, and the ugly Anthony. You know, fucking awesome, right?
Not with Jax Films.
Right. See? See, I told you these guys, the whole team is Smosh here.
To be more aware of my expenses. With Rocket Money,
Yeah, he needs to monitor his expenses because he's poor and ugly. Let's go do some TikTokers. Now, warning for new users. These are very smart. They require brain cells. And most people don't have them, but that's okay. We're gonna grow a few of them while we watch this video, hopefully.
There is no way I'm seeing this right. So apparently here in Arizona, there's no such thing as grass that's alive and green. So here they have to paint the grass green. Like there's
that is jealousy and flexing all in one fucking TikTok, bro. Everything is just like, oh, they have to like do this job to paint the grass green because you can't actually you have different color grass. So you want to be normal and stuff. This is pathetic, bro. This sort of stuff, like, this makes me fucking vomit, bro.
There's literally a guy going around with a machine and spray painting the grass green. So this is what the grass normally looks like, nice and dead. Then you come over here, luscious and green. Like, look, if you touch it, green paint.
Disgusting, bro. Holy shit.
The reason that there is such a void of male role models for young men is because we literally do not have adult males in our population anymore. What do I mean by that? There's no adult males. Like, there's grown men everywhere, but they're not actually physiologically adult human males. They're not. I'm going to teach you guys some fun shit. So in biology, there's this thing called neoteny. It's essentially an organism will retain juvenile traits as it ages if it doesn't get stressed out enough. Okay? If you live in an environment that's too, like, easy, you don't actually develop adult characteristics. I noticed this when I was in high school. I grew up in a very affluent area. And when we went to our grad night, it was at Disneyland.
Well, I noticed, too, that my life is pretty stressful and I'm ahead of everyone else. But I don't know what to do with these superpowers. Nobody wants to give anything to anyone, you know? Nobody knows how to trade or communicate or do anything social and interesting. So I'm like just fucking stuck. Not because the life is not stressful, but like there is no life almost, like outside of the box that I live in.
And we went with a bunch of inner city schools. And everyone I was with realized that all of these kids...
So even if there are real men, there has to be a real reality outside. Real stuff happening outside of your little box that you live in. And maybe you go to workplace. Wow, congratulations. You kind of have to, don't you? Yeah, I don't know, man. Life fucking so weird. I can't even fucking put it together right now. And we'll just see more TikToks that just will make life more mysterious, unfortunately.
Kids looked like adults. They looked so much older than us. And so, yeah, because they were in a more stressful environment, which caused their adrenal glands to upregulate, which caused higher testosterone levels, which made them literally adults. Made them adults in a way that we were still...
Well, probably made them more defensive. You know, they have to defend themselves. And technically, I do see, like, people act more adults around me. But when they sit down next to the fucking computer to type a comment, they just vomit out most of that fucking adult material. And it's very easy to actually lose yourself and not be able to act as an adult. I can admit to myself that I can't approach other people, but other people don't approach me either. And I'm like, well, I guess nothing's gonna happen then. And I was even like approached, not in an approachable way. Like I had to go to someone and I got the advice of like, hey, like just say hello and start small talk to people. Why do I have to start the small talk, right? Why am I the fucking the sheep, you know, to be the first one to do it, right? I have started many things that other people don't respond to, so I don't feel the reason to keep doing that. You know, there's no reward system behind it. So that puts a lot of pressure and stress on me. You know, with rejection, strictly. And with rejection, you have to just accept it. You can't fight against it. You can't fight against the stream of rejection. It's almost impossible.
Juvenile. Every organism has multiple phenotypes it can have. All right.
The same fucking type of rejection that I talk about as I'm quitting Hearthstone, right? Is the rejection of like, well, you're not allowed to play Tempo because it's going to get removed. You know, the win condition is going to be simulated over and over again, and your cards will disappear from the board. Because that's what Blizzard decided should happen. And that's rejection. They rejected Tempo because they want control to dominate. But in order to do so, they had to, like, invent a whole nother fucking degenerate system. It's crazy, bro.
Your phenotype's dictated by your genes, but what dictates which genes get expressed is your environment. The best example of this is pigs. So, domesticated pigs, the pink ones that you all know and love.
Is it really the best example? But it is cool to draw examples from animal world, I guess.
That's one phenotype. It's not even their healthy phenotype. You take a domesticated pig, you release it into the wild. After 6 months, you have a feral boar that has grown thick, curly hair and tusks. Why? Well, being in the stressful environment causes its adrenal glands to upregulate, increasing testosterone production, causing it to take on a different phenotype of a boar. Another example of this is with wolves and foxes. If you start to breed wolves and foxes and you select for more passive traits, their adrenal glands get smaller. As their adrenal glands get smaller, they develop floppy ears, curly hair, and spots, all things we find in domesticated dogs. All right, it's all based off the adrenal glands. Look at the population right now of adult men. What do we got? Men have never been fatter with lower testosterone. Men have never been fatter with lower testosterone. Those are both juvenile characteristics. It's because they're domesticated. Most people are domesticated. So why do men have all these juvenile characteristics? It's because people are domesticated animals now. Most human beings are domesticated animals, especially if you live in the United States. A domesticated animal is an animal fed by humans, taken care of by humans.
Especially in the United States, he says. You gotta be fucking kidding me, bro. You have no idea what's going on in Europe. Like, zero clues. Yes, people fucking act tough outside and whatnot because they have to, because there's nothing in it for them. They're just looking for scraps. They're fighting for scraps. I don't know. I don't see Americans as, like, fucking juvenile and weak. I never got the message like that. But this guy fucking throwing at us.
In order to get economic gain from them. What do you fucking idiots do all day? You just consume media, consume pills, consume food. You are domesticated livestock, and then you use your free time to then generate more.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this turns into cringe conspiracy stuff that I'm supposed to be able to break down, right?
Or labor and wealth for rich people.
The funny thing is, he's turning himself into an enemy that's stressing other people that will, you know, beat him up, essentially. Who cares about arguments when this one fucking idiot is spitting and telling you guys that you're weak, basically, in a very twisted way? Like, at some point you're trying to prove something, but it comes out of it as an insult to a lot of people. And, yeah, that's kind of cringe.
You're domesticated animals. The reason young men...
Like, the thing is, like, you have to explain to people, why is this bad? That I'm domesticated, I'm happy this way. Who cares, right? Am I being abused, or are there some super alpha males, like, enslaving people right now, and we are actually ignoring this thing? Like, it's fucking mental, bro. Like, we're not living in wilderness. Everything around us is man-made, and we have to just adapt. Not by domesticating ourselves. Absolutely, you need challenges in life, and you need to... But they have to come naturally. They just can't... well, you can create them, of course, but you have to naturally create them. You have to naturally crave challenges, and you have to naturally find them. So, sure. Thanks for not explaining yourself for the last 15 seconds. He's probably just gonna rant more.
And have no one to look up to is because a little piglet wouldn't look up to a pig. It wants to be a fuck.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Why are all of these places hiring, but like, won't fucking hire someone?
1,400. 1,400 is the number of jobs I've applied to. Across LinkedIn, Indeed, Naukri Golf, other recruiting sites, and just by filling out those stupid accounts on individual company websites. When I tell people this number, they genuinely cannot believe it. And then they do some stupid shit, like recommend a book or like a seminar to watch about job applying. And I'm like, you think I haven't tried every tactic in the book? Cold emails, cold calls, hot emails, mildly warm, slightly cold in the center type emails. It took me 6 months to get my last job, and that was around 700 applications. And I got lucky with that one because I went to the same school as the person who hired me. Coming up now on 6 months unemployed and 8 months of job searching, it's insane.
Well, here we go again, right? With job seeking being a job. Which is like, what the fuck? How does that happen? How do you not welcome people to just come to your workplace, just educate themselves at least of how everything is put together just for an interview? How do you not welcome people? Like, applications just make things worse. You feel like you have achieved something, but you're not going to get a reply. With interview, you get to like learn things and figure shit out. You have to kind of force yourself into businesses and teach them this one fucking thing that I can file an application, but if it doesn't get replied, and most people have this experience, again, you can't take rejection lightly. You cannot take it lightly. You have to fucking wiggle yourself into a new strategy and be more aggressive. Every single time you get rejected, you have to be more aggressive. Again, this is what warrants me to like, well, I quit. I fucking quit. I don't play Hearthstone anymore. Fuck this shit, right? If something rejects your ideas and your passion over and over again, you have to be more aggressive with that shit. You have to find another way to approach people and show them what you want and that you're gonna fight for it in whatever ways. And fucking file 14,000 applications. Well, that's not going to go anywhere, unfortunately. Just like Tinder doesn't go anywhere. People don't want to meet each other. People don't even want to fucking talk to each other. I don't necessarily know what they want. Because they don't know what they want. So, I'm not sure what the solution is exactly, because this is a very complicated thing. It's almost like people have been burnt out. They don't have anything to offer. Unless they are very, very skilled at it. And have built very long-lasting businesses. Because, again, another challenge for businesses is to create a job that also at least pays minimum wage. Somehow that's still a challenge, guys. Because who owns all the money? All the money just fucking gravitates towards that 1%. It's like a fucking magnet. Like, almost it feels like economy's broken, too. Like, if people had proper amount of money, jobs would be everywhere, and we would figure out how to build a job, first of all, of how to find jobs, right? We would build a job for it. We would invest into that. If someone is successful at finding jobs, we would invest into that person. It's just we don't have money anymore. We don't have ways to actually give each other money. And now we're more connected, but we're more disconnected because we're being teased by all these possibilities of technology. So, kind of fucking sucks. But it is a question, right? Searching is, yeah, it's weird. There's more questions. You have to dig deeper. But those are the clues, at least. This is Lithuanian, but I can translate where you have to work with passion and it will lead you naturally. You cannot try hard. And I've covered this thing before. Understand one thing. But try. The moment you're gonna start trying to do things. But wait. Try? Well, when you try hard. When you work very hard. You just working yourself into death, basically. You're just killing yourself. You should work without effort. Effortlessly. And this is where I have to bring up Sniper Wolf again. And that's the effortless work that is required to project onto people. And Sniper Wolf pulling the rug and potentially leaving YouTube without notice, that's gonna fucking affect the entire platform in ways you have no fucking idea. Because if Jax Films is gonna be the fucking pillar of, you have to put a lot of effort and you have to try very hard and you're not gonna make it far if you don't do that shit, it's kind of pathetic attitude, I would say. Yes, I'm not getting a lot of views. People don't give a fuck about me and my content because it's very complicated. You have to post one type of content on your channel. You have to follow the Sniper Wolf rule of there has to be a very strict expectation, and this is why she's confined into the space. She has to pump the same type of content year after year, day after day. There's no escape from this. That's the YouTube algorithm, my friends. Don't try to do things that you don't know and you can't. You have to learn how to, improve skills that you already have. And make them more flexible. Find new things, find new ways. Your personality is very strict on you. It's very, almost impossible to break your personality and do things that you don't want to do. For me, being brave and just jumping into action and just fucking dealing with people face to face, that shit, I don't like doing that. Through comments, I can do that. And it's still a challenging task. It's extraordinary in that sense. And yeah. I had to challenge myself. I had to do that. But it doesn't feel like interacting with a human being. It's just I'm just bouncing their brain cells that are dead and useless to me. I'm just bouncing them back to them. It's well, because they didn't put effort either, right? And they're usually going to just disappear and reject me. So there are ways to just embrace your personality and do whatever happens. Whatever happens to work for you. You don't have to stretch yourself out and do impossible tasks. But you have to make sure that you're getting the right rewards. You're actually making a progress as well. You're improving yourself. The worst feeling you can have is you trying very hard and you fail regardless. That is disgusting. All right? work is supposed to be rewarding all the way through and not in the ends. Because on the end, you can get rug pulled and lose everything. All the effort could just go and be wasted. And Hearthstone is always going to be a fucking good example of that because people are try-harding, trying to win, get the legendary rank, and it means nothing. All this stuff that they're fighting for, fighting each other for, competing for, it goes nowhere. It's pointless. It doesn't give you status points. It actually makes you look like a fucking asshole. Because you flexing your rank instead of your human traits.
Capitalism that we have today is specifically designed to take money out of our pockets and trickle it up to the richest people in the world. And we all know this, but most of us don't actually know how they do it. Like if you were asked.
Now, I don't think it's worth showing this. I'm not even sure why I liked it. Wait, maybe it is worth. What happened? TikTok crashed again? TikTok is not even reloading website. What the fuck, guys?
This is the holiest day is specifically designed to take money out of our pockets and trickle it up to the richest people in the world. And we all know this, but most of us don't actually know how they do it. Like if you were asked, could you describe how they do it in a couple sentences or less? Well, today I'm going to show you how they do it and how every single time you buy a product from a mega corporation, that purchase is sending money up to the richest people in the world and you're never getting it back. And it's actually pretty simple. And yes, there will be a diagram. So let's say you have a cute little kitty and kitty cat got to go poopy. So shares that are being traded using their own money. This was illegal until 1982 when a certain president was like, oh, yay, capitalism. And then green bars are the stock buybacks. They got more and more and more popular until 2008 crashed. But then they got more and more popular again, and they're on a tear right now. And what that does is it inflates the price of the stock because suddenly there's less of it to go around, and so it's more valuable. So everyone that holds stock of that company gets more money. And you know, like that's logical enough. It makes sense, just supply and demand. But the problem,
It is weird. Like, what is this new thing that I haven't heard about? Buying back your own stocks? So there's less stocks to go around? So they're more profitable, so CEOs get to benefit from that, and other stock owners get to benefit from that? What's going on here? Because there's always a loophole, there's always a downfall for this sort of behavior. And it doesn't have to necessarily come from banning something. You just run out of resources to make your stocks more profitable, you know. So let me watch the whole thing and see if I can understand something more from this.
are two of the biggest culprits.
I don't know where we're heading, you know, because every single time there's a twist that happens, it's a oopsie that happens. People start to like genuinely organize themselves and say no to billionaires. They just don't take their money or do something crazy to be able to block their progress or their wealth. Who knows what the actual tool is going to be, but it's going to be even more spectacular than I can actually describe. I don't know.
And to their shareholders.
Technically, owning money is fear. At some point, money just rots in your bank account and it's fear. You want money, you want to control the world, but you're fearful if you want too much. If you can't even spend all your money properly, you know, on actually valuable things in your life. If you can't do that, then you're just collecting fear. And there's ways to turn that money into actual fear that everyone recognizes. You know, I'm you know, strategizing against these fucking billionaires. They're not gonna go anywhere, bro. They're not gonna go without getting so afraid that they need to hide in a fucking bunker. Just like they're supposed to.
If it goes to safety.
To be a normal person, is to find balance in everything. If the story is good, then something bad has to happen. Too good for other people, and something bad has to happen to those people. If you're a celebrity forever, like something bad has to happen to normalize you. Like it's not okay to float above everyone else forever. Someone has to drag you down into a normal status. Obviously, you can choose where to land, where to live your normal life, but you still have to choose. This sort of stuff is like going on for way too long, and I feel like it's definitely gonna chop wings for a lot of billionaires, a lot of like narcissistic CEOs and other creatures, bro. Influencers, all kinds of fucking losers who think they can just float around in space forever and shit on everyone else. Obviously, a lot of people in the shadows also have to be normalized, and they have to be uplifted. They have to be told that, well, you might not be the best kind of the most normal person, because normal people actually just stay normal. By all means. You know, they put a lot of work just to stay normal. So a lot of this balancing of the world, normalizing of the world, just has to happen, essentially. The stars fall and the seeds grow, so to speak. Technically, in my world, if you buy back your shares, you're actually actively killing people or unlinking yourself from people. You are becoming weaker and weaker by buying back your own shares, because you have to be linked and you have to be shared across the world as many times as possible, you know, with different people. One bond is 1%, but 2 bonds is now 1.5%. It's way less. You need 6 bonds for 3% of influence. I'm detecting influence, and in my pattern, buying back your own bonds, purifying yourself, will just make you weaker most of the time. You know, money is becoming more and more worthless in a way. People want it more and more, but they can't quite have it, so they're becoming more and more poor. They're becoming more and more annoyed by being demanded more and more money to survive. So being rich is not exactly a like high reputation moment. How do you fucking hide? What do you do as a rich person when your reputation is plummeting really badly because you have money and other people need money? What the fuck do you do? How do you solve this problem? I wonder.
50 to 1 and more. This data is a decade old now, but back in the 2008 collapse was the first time in a long time that the top 1% had more than the following 9%. The last time that the top 1% was richer than the top 10% was during the Great Depression.
Yeah, everything works in like 16-year cycles, you know, and we hit another crossover, basically. Of things have to collapse now after 16 years of being fucking disgusting like that. I'm looking here, it looks very similar. 16 years. It goes up here. Like a 2024-ish, 2025. 16 years later would be 41. Okay, so if we backtrack somewhere here, 2023 and end in 1938. All right. So we have 1923 into 1938, and somehow it lasts 16 years. Everything works in a 16-year cycle for some reason. I have noticed, my friends, 2 years for coronavirus, 2 years for fucking Russian invasion, until they realize that they're pathetic and they probably should stop now. You know, But they're freezing everyone. They're just throwing prisoners into the fire, into the line of fire, and Russia's going to be cleaner now. Congratulations. Apparently Russia's not going anywhere. God damn it. And yeah, 16-year cycle has closed, my friends. Now we're going to get to see solutions, rapid solutions to all of this nonsense.
Imagine what this looks like now.
I think it's dropping, actually. Who knows?
Self-checkout machines could be going away, according to a new report in the BBC. It turns out they're not just an unbelievable waste of your time, they're also a total failure from a business perspective. It seems like the days of being forced to use these terrible machines are finally over. Target...
This actually surprised me, like, self-checkout kind of sucks. Oh well.
Is restricting the number of items that you can buy at one of these things. Walmart is taking them out of stores in certain areas. Last year, the CEO of Dollar General said they've been relying too much on self-checkout and they should be using these machines as a backup instead of the primary way to pay. It's like so much of the other nonsense in the tech industry. These machines don't deliver on anything that they promise. Rates of theft from self-checkout machines are double the industry average. It's not just easy to steal from these machines. It turns out it's hard not to steal. There have been a ton...
Well, regardless whether it's double or not, you still have to pay the workers. So, I don't know. It's probably possible to make a profit. It's probably possible to make a profit if you're smart about it. You know, if self-checkout would do something. Like, technically you could fund self-checkout with a few pennies here and there, right?
Ton of studies which show that people are constantly taking things without...
Like, if technology continues to improve with AI, all that stuff, like, it's gonna be much better, bro.
Paying by accident because they get confused. Not only is there a huge theft problem, but they actually increase labor costs for stores because if you've ever used one, you know there's a really good chance you're gonna...
Yeah, but that is absolutely correct. Like, it's very confusing using that shit. It's kind of weird. Maybe there's better solution. Maybe there's more hybrid solution. Who knows, right?
This is what the winter storm is looking like all across the United States right now. Now, I'm guessing that was Iowa, but this is what's...
Like, the best thing to do with those self-checkout machines is just, like, you press a button and someone has to show up to help you out. Like, first of all, just send an alarm of, like, okay, I need assistance. Well, now you press a button. I don't even know if that fucking button exists right now. Like... and the labor cost's not supposed to go up by that much. And it is a lot faster in a way. I'm okay with that. But, like, the way they monitor the weight, the way the things get confusing and tangled up very quickly, it's absolute insanity, bro. How do they mess things up that much? It's just a strategic failure, I would say, those checkout machines. Yeah, just something went wrong when they designed it. And it happens. And they don't know how to fix it, which is fucking sad. Year of the Purge, boys.
What's happening in Maine right now? It's actually getting worse. And this is a prime example of what I mean by getting worse. Absolutely devastating, guys. I can't imagine a flood taking away a house from me. I just can't. This is so harsh. I wish the best for these people. Now look, the freezing temperatures are through the roof. Look at this gas pump right here. It's frozen in midair, okay? Never in a million years would I have thought that I would see something like this. Now I came across this video and I have no idea what's happening, okay? It looks like a power outage, but why is there multiple different colors? I don't know. So if somebody could explain, I'd highly appreciate it. Let's go to the next thing. Now, can we talk about how there's a volcano that just erupted in Iceland? And it actually destroyed some homes. You can see here, there are people observing the volcanic eruption. Check that out. At this point, I'ma just start saying, we'll see what happens on the next episode of 2024. Because I'm sure tomorrow, there's gonna be something crazier happening. It doesn't seem to be slowing down, guys.
Yeah, I mean, pisses me off, but that's how life works, it seems. I don't even have an explanation, to be honest. I just accept, well, it's the year of the purge, and very weird things are meant to happen in this, like, transition period, because, like, the changes are gonna be radical across the world. We have invented AI, and we have done something while COVID was a thing. I don't know, bro. Maybe I have no idea. I just know about AI, guys. What is the new things, man? Well, the new things was mastering TikTok while COVID was up, right? Like, a lot of people were dragged into TikTok environment. All of these changes usually, like, actually whisper some kind of ideas to you. Especially local ones, right? To you locally, it says something. It means something. As weird as it is. I like finding meaning in things anyway, so...
Popular opinion, stop telling women on the internet how beautiful they are and go say it to your wife.
Hey babe, just want to let you know that women on the internet are beautiful.
Popular opinion, stop telling women on the internet how beautiful they are and go say it to your wife.
I mean, it worked out pretty fucking well, I'm not gonna lie. I will do the same thing. Women on the internet are very beautiful, and except I don't have a wife for a good reason, because women on the internet are very beautiful, and I don't fucking need that other shit. Real life fucking cringe. Cringe and Grinch that will steal my Christmas. I don't fucking need that shit. And I don't need children either. Because the only children around me are the ones that I can't fucking stand, unfortunately, it seems.
This might just be the future of thermal paste technology. You see, thermal paste is used in between our
Well, I gotta like something that improves technology, right? So, apparently instead of using paste, I don't know why you need anything at all, but congratulations. Now they have improved that too into this metal thing that liquefies itself when it's too hot.
This helps mitigate the dangers of using liquid metal thermal paste while capturing the benefits of its super high thermal conductivity. Would you feel safe using this? Right here with this phase change metal alloy thermal paste. At room temperature, it's solid metal, but as it heats up, as you can see here, it begins to liquefy. But because it's also surrounded by this plastic enclosure, the liquid metal isn't going anywhere except for right on this CPU. This in practice helps mitigate the dangers of using...
Interesting. I believe it's better for some reason. I don't know, bro. The problems with liquid metal on...
As a content creator, a pole dancer, and whatever this is, I've been known to get 1 or 2 comments. And this may shock you to hear, but they're not always 100% positive. So here's some advice from your friendly weird neighbor about how the internet works. If you comment on stuff that you don't like, you will see more of it.
This is pretty fucking scary. Like, the moment he said that, I'm like, I have to scroll past this. I have to run away, man. You will see more things that you don't like if you don't like things. This is another reason for me to make this video, to admire things that I did in fact liked. I come back to it. TikTok is gonna recognize that I'm doing it. So interact more with things that you like. As much as possible, in fact. Even if you liked and you're gonna break up with fucking Hearthstone, I'm still gonna spend time with it and figure out why other people left Hearthstone, you know? What happens, what they were passionate about. Because I can probably relate. I was relating to Preparian, the most popular one of Hearthstone of all time, bro. I was relating to this guy, and he ran away to wherever a specific thing was happening in Hearthstone, bro. So I'm like, yeah, interesting. Maybe we can solve a lot of mysteries here. And I don't even have to play the game, I just have to watch other people's content. When you like something, and you get to see more of it, like, that's a pretty good benefit. But a lot of people just troll around, they lie to themselves, they are manipulative, and they get treated this way, where they're gonna get deeper and deeper into spiral into madness, basically. Like, I've seen the Oompa feed, and it's absolute fucking mind-bending nonsense, basically. And if people get that shit on TikTok, if they feed themselves terrible content, I mean, rest in pieces, my friends. This is the new type of death, basically. You know, algorithmic death. You being served shitty content because you asked for it over and over again. And be careful, guys. I'm trying to save some people around here. Just for the goodwill. I don't have to get views. Just for the goodwill, a good gesture, just to appear as a good person in the end of whatever story I'm trying to tell. You know. It is what it is. So it's a very shocking revelation.
So save your comments for the stuff that you love. And for the rest, just scroll on by.
And you can tell he knows what he's talking about because he's just doing some weird shit himself.
So whether you like this sort of thing or not, you know what to do. Stay positive out there. As a content creator.
Yeah, it's the only way to normalize your life and to know that you're not the problem because you're staying positive most of the time. You know, you're not complaining all the time. But if there's a problem, you have to solve it somehow. You have to let other people know. I think I solved the system, bro. After every single comment, you have to leave Ubu. Easy game, bro. Look at that shit. Best reward ever for clicking a button.
You guys don't get it. Teaching Gen Z is the craziest thing that you have ever seen in your entire life. Today, students had an opportunity to write letters to an elderly home just to say hi, to tell them a joke, to make their day a little bit better. Please look to see what one kid legitimately wrote as a letter to go to an elderly home. I am not joking. Dear elderly individual, I'm sorry that you got so old. It really sounds like a terrible thing to experience. I hope they let you play games at the old people home. If you need another resident, my teacher, Mr. J, needs a place to live.
This is where I'm like, fucking hell. Children can solve all of our problems, bro. Yeah. Fucking people need places to live. Hey, old people, fucking let us in. Help us survive. Fucking children know already how to save us all.
That's not even the craziest part. Listen to this. If you want to include me in your will, here's my contact info, and they wrote their address and name. Are you kidding me? I feel like I'm in an essence.
That is fucking weird, bro. Holy shit.
So I just got home and I realized I don't remember whether or not I put his letter in the send pile. God, I really hope I have a job tomorrow.
Why is everything so damn expensive? 4 years ago, my rent was $1,200 a month at a luxury apartment complex. It is now $2,100, not even including utilities. I went to the grocery store yesterday, right, and got 3 bags of chips, some ground turkey, and some vegetables, and it was $67! What? My car insurance from 4 years ago until now, with no tickets, no wrecks, no nothing on my driver's record, has gone from $130 to $240 per month. 3 years ago, my electric bill was averaging $45 Now it's averaging 125. You go and get a tank of gas once a week, and you're dropping 70 bucks. I mean, a guy can't even buy a can of dip for less than $8. $8 for a can of dip? What the fuck is going on?
We'll never know. But you know what I did figure it out? By the way, this is cool, right? Like, you get to scream it at your phone and feel like you're making progress. But you have to be very smart about it, because you might just make progress for other people, and they might not actually appreciate you. You might not actually capture the feedback. I can't do anything. This guy had 16,000 comments already. Like, he's set for life, it seems. Even though you only get pennies for these sort of stunts on TikTok. But at least it feels good, you know, to do that. There's a lot going on. I think there's a lot going on. And most important, like, we have to appreciate that one of the biggest things, one of the biggest complaints that I come back from is this inflation complaint. You're the problem. You think you're more productive and you're more, you're supposed to generate more wealth because technology is improving, everything is improving. But one thing is not improving. Humans interacting with each other is not improving. In fact, humans are growing their egos and they're being less nice. So we have to start making jobs where, like, you fucking painting grass green all of a sudden just to appear normal, just out of desperation. You fucking painting grass? But it gets much more than that. This is where inflation comes from. It's just human behavior. It's humans being assholes to each other. If we were nice to each other, we would solve problems together. We would not create more problems where you have to waste your wealth, waste things that cost money to produce, and all of a sudden billionaires are scared to the point where they have to gather wealth to themselves. You know, so economy doesn't move too fast because economy is like self-destructive thing. If you enable too many self-destructive people, then, you know, everything can collapse. Who knows? Maybe that's the correct story, correct waypoint to look from. And we're the problem. You know, we just fucked it up because we don't know how to interact with each other without creating more problems. And I think that's exactly what's going on, because every single time someone else opens their mouth, I think they're fucking stupid. But on TikTok, it seems to be fine. I seems to, you know, appreciate most of the people who I get in my feed. But at the same time, you know, it could just be an echo chamber, to be honest. And I'm scared for, like, what other people get to see. So yeah. It's annoying, but, like, you have to sometimes admit that you're the problem. That I myself, I'm not producing any real value. People are not interacting with me in a real way. So I am completely dormant, and I'm a smart person. And if I'm a smart person and dormant, these things not supposed to come together like that. But the only time when I was working, I felt exploited instead. So exploited is way worse than being dormant. You can see how the world itself stopped functioning in appropriate ways. It's just creating problems. It's enslaving people and demanding even more work. Hey, give us more work, because we liked it so much. Is the only thing that worked. You know, the only positive feature of a human being is that they actually did something valuable for the economy. Everything is collapsing if we stop doing that. If we just become consumers instead, right? So be careful with that. This is a very intricate system. Like, you can't quite blame just one thing just because we went off the gold standard or bullshit like that. There are ways to actually analyze this from a very simple value point. If we're generating value and we know how to treat that value, we know who to sell it to, and we know what money is actually worth, we know how to trade goods, we know how to be flexible, all of a sudden economy will flourish back again. But we have to be smart about it. We have to like enable ourselves to do good things. And I'm kind of stuck just fucking talking to a microphone, hoping, which kind of fucking sucks. But like, to be honest, I still am improving myself, so I'm not sad about it. I'm at least numbing myself down successfully. And I'm not sure what the radical step's supposed to be, necessarily. You know, how to work with other people, what kind of jump to make to start real progress. I honestly don't know, because everyone around me are pathetic. You know, only once I have ability to communicate and connect with people, only then I can start snowballing progress. So people have to be shut up, basically. They have to be challenged, at least by inflation, at least by like choke holding them and telling them that they might not survive that easily anymore. You know, that they have to listen more, pay more attention, and be less of a consumer, and blow out of ego, and less demonic, you know. More of a listener. Thank you very much. Less of a consumer. Consumers are not listeners, my friends. Consumers just attack you back if they don't like you. Listeners are the ones who listen to pretty much anything that comes their way. They appreciate the flow of the universe. Anything positive, they listen. They sit down and it's like, well, this is my moment. I have to, you know, appreciate what I received. If it's somewhat positive, somewhat more positive, or you can challenge me, you know, you can type in a comment, see how I respond. Do I just flip the table? Do I just ignore you? Or I answer your question and concern respectfully and quickly. You can test all these things. It's very fascinating stuff. Yeah, it ends up with a weird joke, it feels like. I'm not sure about this. This is very weird. To have superpowers to actually, like, record everything with your minds. That is fucking weird, bro. And just sit there like... People have these superpowers and they're not sharing them. That's so unfortunate. This is what you would get if you were nice to people. If you know how to fucking communicate. But this is not happening. It's just not happening to the max, in fact. It's very scary. Like, internet really just uncovered how antisocial people actually are. But we haven't fully delved into that. Because this is the main problem. It's really fucking it, to be honest. The inequality is the problem. And we're unequal because we're antisocial. And we're trying to, you know, like, hey, let blacks and Hispanics also be a part of the gang. But that makes us even more unequal. Great. All right, we're part of the gang, but how are we going to solve it? How do we equalize the culture differences, right? Diversity is a strength only when it's solved. Only when it's solvable, at least. And not just rips you into shreds.
Person who worked for a competitor. He says, hey.
And so, yeah, secret weapon, if you know how to handle that shit, you gotta be careful with if someone has superpowers, you gotta be careful to actually understand what their superpowers range at and how they can, you know, backfire at you. So, yeah, but it's cool. That's a very respectful thing you can do. And you can benefit from that shit. Just for knowing more people and letting them do things in your life. It's absolute bliss when that happens. But yeah, you technically have to promise profits at the moment. You're not going to get friends for free. Everyone's busy. But it's kind of fucking stupid in that sense. We're going to realize very soon as well how stupid that is. To be always busy and to always be resentful and rejectful. Like, fucking hell, man. People are insane. People are creating their own problems. We already discussed the job application problem. How long does it take to apply to 1,400 jobs? Like, are you fucking kidding me, bro? It's insanity. For me, it wasn't that difficult at all in UK because you do it physically. You go to that location and just fucking contact, and you're not trying to get a high-level job anyways. You just like, well, I'm a normal person, guys. Just give me a job and I'll fucking do it. But of course, those jobs are fucking pretty disgusting, I'm not gonna lie. So it was a survival and exploitation moment in my life where I had to just quit. And apparently I found a blissful exit from that. Now it's under attack, unfortunately, but I should be able to handle that pressure.
About a job, and I said, absolutely not. Not while you work for him. I will not be accused of poaching employees. So we hang up, and he calls me back 5 minutes later and says, I don't work for him anymore. All righty, what can I help you with? He says, listen, man, he says, I'm not getting enough hours at my job. I want to make more money, and I want to work more hours. I said, I think I can help with that. So I brought him over to do a trial run, and let's just say that he is exceptional at his job. So we gave him a pay bump, and he came to work for us. And every day, he finishes a full day's work by 2 or 3 o'clock. He said, man, I'm at least trying to get my 8 hours. I was like, sir, you did a full day's work. Why would I not pay you for 8 hours? He said, because I only work 5 or 6. I said, yeah, but you do a full day's work, which means I'm going to pay you for the full day. Apparently, no other boss had done that for him. They just go, oh, I guess my labor cost is lower, my profits are higher, and pocket the difference. Person who worked.
Yeah, that's the difference of being respectful and disrespectful, where people will have options in the future and they will switch and they will let those businesses fall apart. Right now, because of the desperation, because every job is like a fucking luxury experience, apparently, which is not supposed to be that way, but because there's lack of options, people just grab whatever they can, not realizing that options are all over the place. There's just no job. No one doing the job of finding the jobs, because apparently it's like very complicated and very diverse. You know, this is where diversity really fucking hits the floor. The diversity of jobs. But in actuality, jobs are not diverse at all. Most things work exactly the same as the other things. You just need a little bit of more brain cells to connect the dots of what works and what doesn't work. Mathematician doesn't work. They don't actually solve real problems. They just go to schools to teach young children, brainwash them about maths. They're not actually working that hard. Mathematicians, things that we respect overly much, like scientists and fucking doctors, they don't work. They just wait for you to get sick and get in trouble. Then the scientists and doctors show up all of a sudden. No, they don't show up. They just sit there and fucking rot. They just wait. These people are nonsense of society, bro. We just spawned fucking demons, basically, to do jobs that make no fucking sense. You must understand. Once we solve the twisty twists, life will be so much better. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time.